Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Francisco Serna. I am System and Informatic Engineer at Technological University of Peru. Today, I'm going to be talking about our paper titled Automation Psychological Assessments with Cloud Computing. My talk is divided into 6 parts. I will start with introduction. Then I will look at problem identified. Next, automation of psychological assessments using cloud computing and AWS services. Then, results and discussion. And finally, conclusions and future work. Human resources consulting firms and other industries have been interested in advancement of technology to ease every activity and to reduce the cost of hiring during the recruitment process. One way is e-recruitment platforms based on web pages, recruitment systems, and mobile applications to improve all processes, such as search candidates, evaluate with projective and psychometric tests, and interviews to decide and to hire new employees, and to provide the best suitable candidate for the organization. The relevance of applying technology to facilitate work for recruiters is important in this time of pandemic, when economies keep recruitment processes. Labor markets such as human health, education, essential public services, and technology will increase. Recruiters need psychological evaluations that give accurate results of candidates, but more important is give him a platform that automates psychological assessments to help during the recruitment process. For example, using benefits of AWS cloud computing services. We developed an automation of psychological assessments to help during the recruitment process on a human resources consulting firm using cloud computing. First of all, we identified which functionalities are most important and to evaluate which services are best to use. Next, there was a migration from Heroku to AWS. Meanwhile, each functionality was testing and ensuring the quality of the software. Finally, we developed 2 new functionalities. The first was an interface of psychological assessments for mobile, and the second was notifications by SMS and email to recruiters when candidates finalize the test. The development of the project was carried out using the Canvas method with work in progress equal to 1, and it was applied to test and deploy weekly changes to ensure the quality. The software was deployed on Amazon Lightsail with 2 GB of RAM, a virtual private network, and it was enabled to be a virtual private cloud with application load balancer and Route 53. Database was migrated to PostgreSQL 11 micro database on Amazon Lightsail. The mobile interface was developed in React. The second new functionality was developed using Amazon API Gateway, Lambda functions, Amazon Simple Notification Services, SNS, and Amazon CloudWatch to track logs. And we integrate it with Route 53. In the flow of the automation of psychological assessments, we include a call to Lambda function programming in Java 8 and configured telephone number and email of the recruiters on SNS. This figure shows how are integrated all AWS services that were used to develop the solution for psychological assessments to be used with mobile devices in the AWS cloud, especially specifying the services used for the new 2 functionalities. The first functionality is shown in App Flow with Route 53, Application Load Balancer, Amazon Lightsail in the virtual private network, and Jenkins for automate development with a source code on GitHub. The second functionality is showed in Downflow with Amazon API Gateway, Lambda functions, Amazon Simple Notification Service, and Amazon CloudWatch. The following sequence of images shows how a candidate takes one psychological assessment and what he looks. The following image shows the notifications that recruiter receive by SMS and email when candidate finalize the test. The population of the experiment was about 64 candidates in a period of 2.5 months, with equal number of candidates for the 3 months. Candidates' feedback was positive for mobile than the original web page, and the performance of recruiters increased by up to 5% man-hours per month, on average of 3 hours, with notified recruiters by SMS and email when candidates finalize the test. The following table shows a comparative between man-hours without and with a solution. Each psychological report represents around 3 hours per candidate. The third column shows the total of hours that take a recruiter make a report in each month. And the fourth column shows the total of hours that take a recruiter make a report with a solution. On January, were 11 candidates that take psychological assessments and 11 candidates that take without a solution. On February, were 14 candidates that take psychological assessments and 14 candidates that take without a solution. And on March were 7 candidates that take psychological assessments and 7 candidates that take without the solution. The main contributions of this work are a reduction of man-hours worked on psychological evaluation process on a human resources consulting firm. This proposal reduces the time spent on a schedule and appointment and reduces the cost of hiring after notifying the recruiter that candidate finalized the assessments. Some issues identified were the migration to cloud computing and how automation could help to complete psychological evaluation process, because it's necessary an expert to decide and to ensure the candidate is telling the truth. The use of artificial intelligence for automate jobs interview to identify microexpression of the candidate's face, even to interpret body languages, response monitored by webcam. This research in the near future will contribute to the recognition and elimination of prejudices by the personnel evaluating candidates, using evidence-based artificial intelligence, creating competitive advantages, and generating improvements in the talent acquisition functions through the digital transformation of this same. The represent proposal will allow to configure and personalize the required skills of the candidates, as well as provide suggested profiles for a sought job position. This will be achieved through algorithms of pattern recognition via video and voice. These patterns will be saved and continually updated, generating new and better profiles based on new knowledge and quality indicators. This research will allow us to compare the skills evaluated before hiring and the skills demonstrated after hiring by monitoring the daily work of the staff hired during their trial period, finding opportunities for improvement, constant training, and decision-making regarding continuity labor. This research involves the intention of quantify skills and competencies by observing the candidate's behavior while performing written and oral evaluation using video, voice, of artificial intelligence based software hosted in cloud computing. Thank you for your attention.